Anthem. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are continuing to handle this situation that we're in. I just want to take a couple of minutes and just kind of give you a little bit of a preview of where we're going for the next couple of weeks. I know that we've been through Easter, and now we're heading into what is next. And what I'm going to do in sermon-wise for the next couple of weeks for April the 19th and the 25th, we're going to take those 2 weeks and we're going to look at some things that happened with Jesus and his apostles in between his resurrection and his ascension. And so that's what we're going to do the next 2 weeks. And then starting the first Sunday in May, which I am hoping and praying, just like you're hoping and praying, that maybe the first Sunday in May we'll be able to gather and have the doors open and on that Sunday. But regardless if it's that or it's not, on the first Sunday in May, we're going to start a journey through the book of Mark, through the Gospel of Mark, or the Gospel of Jesus according to Mark, and that will start the first Sunday in May. And we'll be in the book of Mark for a while, deep into summertime. We also have our Wednesday night Bible study that we still have going. That goes live on Wednesday nights at 6:30. We'll finish up with chapter 2, going to chapter 3 this week. This week, I'm going to add something a little different that we haven't done. We did our communion on Facebook Live last week and had a great response to that. So this Thursday night at 6:22, on Thursday night, I'm going to go live from my Facebook page, not the church's page. There'll be links for you to be able to go to my Facebook page. And we're just going to do a Q&A with Pastor Marty. And so you can ask whatever questions you want to ask, and I will either have an answer for it or I will not. I'm going to do that for about 30 minutes or so, just another way for us to have some kind of connection and some interaction. You'll be able to see me, hear me. Obviously, I'll be able to read your questions and say hi and all of those kinds of things in the comment section that's on Facebook Live. So, 19th and 26th of April, we're going to look at the things that happened in between the resurrection and the ascension. And then starting in May, we're going to start with the book of Mark and go through the book of Mark. Continue on our Wednesday night, and then this Thursday night at 6:22, we're going to do Facebook Live. I want to just encourage you to continue to give. Many of you are doing that. There's multiple ways to give. You can hit the give button. You can mail in your check. Most of the time, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, from 9 to 4-ish, 5-ish. Usually somebody's at the office. You may have to walk around and knock on a window or something, but you can also give that way. I just encourage you to continue to do that so that we can continue to do the things that we need to do as a church. One of the things that we're going to do with our community at homes, we're going to have a couple other people give some devotional thoughts and some things that they're thinking through. We're going to try to increase, and we're still not going to promise that we're going to do a community at home every day, but we want to get pretty close to doing that. We talk about it all the time in Anthem. We want to help people live the truth of Jesus in everyday life. So we're going to try to do our best to do something every day. One of the things that I'm going to be doing, I have a little moleskin book that was given to me by Adam Hayden in 2003. It's the first time I'd ever seen a moleskin. And what I have been doing since 2003, when I hear something or I read something, a book, or have a thought, and it has to be really good. It has to be kind of the top-notch thing. I will go and write it in this little book. And I've been doing this for almost 20 years now. So what I'm going to do in this time of reflection, I'm gonna go through the book and put some things out there just for you to think about and for you to wrestle with or to think through. Some of it will be related to Scripture. Some of it will not. Most of it is, and going to deal with our walk with God, obviously. But that's what we're going to be doing. So what I want to do today is I started looking at it and go, okay, which is the first thing that I want to share? And then I went back to just when you open it up, and I had written down the 5 stages of grief. And when I think about what the kind of the things that we're dealing with right now, and I think about all the things that we've missed, some of us grieving not having been together for Easter, and we're grieving job losses and grieving, graduations and birthdays and anniversaries and all of those kinds of things. You're probably pretty familiar with the stages of grief, but let me just read them for you. The first one's denial, then anger, then bargaining, and then depression, and then acceptance. There's the 5 stages that we go through anytime we grieve something. And sometimes we're grieving things that are massive and big, and then sometimes we're grieving things that are small. There are times when we'll go through these 5 things pretty quickly, and then there are times when it takes us a really long time to go through these things. I find myself in a something going on in my life where I'm grieving, and I was reviewing this. I realized that I'm in the bargaining stage. I kind of got through the denial and got through the anger. And I'm in this bargaining stage. And it's just a stage that you have to go through. And so as you go through those, just remember, there's going to be denial, there's going to be anger, there's going to be bargaining, there's going to be depression, there's going to be acceptance. Not all of it's going to have the same intensity. And it's going to be different for different situations and different for different people. But just one of those things in life that we know to be true, the stages of grief. And hopefully that will give you some help to say, okay, well, what stage am I in? Obviously, when we're grieving, we don't want to grieve like those who do not have hope. We want to grieve like those who have hope. And there's so many things that the scriptures teaches us about that. I'm going to read a couple to you. I actually want to read one from Psalm 73, verse 26. The psalmist says this. He says, "My health may fail and my spirit may grow weak, but God remains the strength of my heart. He is mine forever." I'm going to read that again. "My health may fail and my spirit may grow weak." You find your spirit growing weak these days? It's kind of like, oh, when is this going to be over? When is this going to be done? But God remains the strength of my heart. He is mine forever. And then in Psalms 25:5, the end of it, "All day long I will put my hope in you." All day long I will put my hope in you. All day long I'm going to put my hope in God. I know that we're grieving. I know there's all kinds of things to grieve, continue with all kinds of uncertainty. What's next? For those of us that are planners and we like to plan and we want to know what's next, and in this time where it's really hard to determine what's next, let's make sure that we're placing our hope in the one who can do something about it, and that is Jesus. And that when we grow weak, that we will know that He is our heart song. He is our strength. And that's what we're going to be trusting in. And we're going to do that every moment of every day, regardless of what the circumstances might say. We will see you soon.